Hello! I'm using a new microphone in this video, so let me know in the comments if the sound is any better on this one. As mentioned in a previous video, I was looking to change my shad tank bag, as although I think it's a great system, I don't think it particularly suits the V85 TT, just the tank shape and the bar positions. And although it does work just fine, it does have drawbacks as mentioned in the previous video. I was looking at posts online and other videos, and there are quite a few contenders out there now, including Guzzi, Hepco and Becker, Oxford I think. But the one I actually chose was the SW Motech Pro daypack. I saw a video by Christis LTU, apologies if I've pronounced that wrong. He did a review of his SW Motech micro tank bag on his V85 TT. So that was a really helpful review, and I liked the way the system worked. I'll put a link to it down in the doobly-doo if I remember later on. I took a risk because he had a few issues with the fit and finish of his, and I ordered the next size up, the daypack, hoping that it wouldn't have any problems, and indeed I don't actually have any of the issues he had with his bag and his tank ring. Here's a side-by-side shot of my old and new tank bags. As you can see, even though these both claim to be the same size, 5 litres, to me the SW Motech looks slightly smaller inside than the shad does. But it does have the advantage of being able to expand to 8 litres if you need a little bit more space for, I don't know, a Scotch egg and a tin of beans or some other journey essentials. So why did I choose this bag? Well, as I said, I found the shad a little fiddly to fit and remove. With the SW Motech Pro, you just have to get it in roughly the right position and it snaps into place. So you can see the tank ring there, pretty much. Just chuck the bag on and it's there. And to remove it, just pull the red tab and off she comes. That's really much easier than the shad bag on the V85 TT in my experience. Also, where I've positioned this bag, it does not obstruct the keyway at all. That's much better. It does partially cover the fuel filler, but because it's so easy to take off and put back on, I'm really not worried about that at all. And if you've watched the other reviews, as you'll know, it's easy to move this plate up and down. There's just 4 screws and you can slide it up and down to get that perfect fit on your bike. Or indeed, because the screws are easily accessible, unlike the shad, you could swap it between bikes with only minimal hassle really if the position needed to be changed. So as I said, I don't seem to have the same issues that Christis had with his bag. For example, the bars, where I've got it positioned at the moment, there's plenty of room at full lock on the right hand side. There is a little, just touches very gently on the left hand side. I could eliminate that entirely if I moved the bag back a tiny bit, but in its current position it's absolutely fine. Another issue he had was with the tank ring not touching the tank. On mine it's quite firmly pressing onto the tank. I don't have that issue at all, which is why I wonder maybe whether there's some manufacturing tolerance issues. The bracket is metal, so if you've got one and you have that problem, obviously you could bend the bracket slightly, though I'd be a bit worried about breaking the paint. Though again, at least because it is metal, it could be repainted. And the third main issue that he had was the bag rubbing on the seat. I've played around with the fitment on this one and it doesn't touch the seat at all at the moment. I have the standard seat as far as I'm aware, and if I slid the bag back further, there's a bit more, the bag has a bit more adjustability, so it could come back further, but it didn't seem to be touching the seat even when I slid it all the way back. It is a brand new bag, you know, it's only been on here a couple of weeks, so perhaps over time it'll suffer some middle-aged sagginess, maybe even get a little droopy. We'll just have to wait and see. The instructions did have a very slight mistake in them to do with the bolts that mount around the filler cap. For reasons known only to Moto Guzzi, there are 2 different length bolts, short, long, and the instructions just had those swapped around slightly. I'm sure there's an excellent reason Why the bolts are different lengths, I've no idea what it is, but I'm sure there's an excellent reason. I did read a few comments online, people concerned that there are magnets in this system, and you know, will it damage anything? Will it damage my phone or my cards? The instructions don't specifically really mention this, but there is the following image in them, and it does kind of imply that delicate items such as phones and credit cards should go in the top section of the bag. To be honest, I'm not sure that a magnetic strip is really used on credit cards anymore, certainly not in the UK. I don't remember last time I had to actually swipe a credit card. Here in the UK we like our chips. Like other sort of ring mounting bags, you lose a bit of space and gain a bit of weight due to the gubbins built into the bottom of the bag. I mean, they're all much for muchness really. It's just a compromise you make for a more convenient fitting system. One thing I did learn the hard way: don't make this red strap too long. It does tell you how to adjust it in the instructions. When I first set it up, this was a bit too long, there was a bit too much loose strap, and I managed to get it caught in the actual bracket when I put the bag on. And it was a complete bastard to get off, because I had to kind of pull the strap out through the bracket before I could then operate the release mechanism. So just something to be aware of. It took an awful lot of tugging before it came off, I can tell you. It's just a technique thing, I think, really. Some of you younger viewers probably won't have that problem. I don't know how well it's going to come out on video, but if you look roughly in line from behind, you might not be able to tell, but the bag is actually slightly twisting over to the left. Very slightly angled to the left. So I think that's why there's a very slight touch on the bars here and plenty of gap on this side. I'm not sure if it's the tank ring or the bracket underneath the bag itself, or a combination of the both. It's very, very minor, but it's going to slightly annoy me, so I'm going to see if I can adjust that to get that a bit straighter. One final issue, entirely unrelated to the bag itself. On Facebook, someone had commented that on their 2020 bike and on a 2021 loan bike, these E-marked petrol stickers were out of line on the tank, stuck at a stupid angle. And of course, mine are the same. So thanks a lot for that, because I can't unsee that now, and that's quite annoying, especially with the tank ring here. The gap shows off how Friday afternoon those stickers were. I know it's a tiny thing, but... So what are my final thoughts on this bag? Yeah, excellent, really like it, really well made, so easy to put on and take off the bike. I still think the shad pin system is a nicer looking fitment system, but again, as I said several times, it just doesn't quite seem to fit the V85 TT very well. I'm sure it's excellent on other bikes. The quick lock system here is just so convenient. Drop the bag on, pull the bag off, no problems at all. It is quite a bit more expensive than the shad though. The ring and the bag was slightly over £150 in the UK. So that was quite painful, but that's what the prices are. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all those things. Hope you found this video useful. I'll see you in the next one. And according to the YouTube stats, nobody watches the last couple of minutes of any video. So I can say what I like here. Right, I'm just off to Hartlepool to buy some exploding trousers. Cluck cluck, jibber jibber, my old man's a mushroom, etc.